UNC Pembroke men's basketball won on senior night in a thriller against Flagler 94-92. Going on the road later in the week, the Armstrong State Pirates stunned the Braves, rallying to win on their senior night 83-80. Alex Bradley and Brandon Watts both averaged 20 points in the two games last week. On the women's side, it was also a 1-1 week, but the loss was to Flagler, and the Braves defeated Armstrong State 79-60. In that game, Janisa Monley and Mary Robinson both posted double-doubles, including a career-high 23 points for Robinson. UNCP baseball opened Peach Belt Conference play with a three-game set against Montevallo. The Braves won Friday on a walk-off, but dropped the final two games of the weekend. UNC Pembroke softball had a busy week, splitting two with Pfeiffer and Chowan before taking both games from Glenville State. And UNCP wrestling dropped a conference duel against Limestone 17-15 to finish 4-2 in conference play. Wrestling is at the NCAA Super Region 2 tournament this weekend. The UNC Pembroke track and field team closed out the indoor season by breaking three more school records on Sunday at the Kent Taylor Invite, shattering previous women's program standards in the 4x400 meter relay, the 800 meter, and the weight throw. The Black and Gold Report starts now. Welcome to another episode of the Black and Gold Report, presented by Pepsi, a show all about UNC Pembroke athletics. I'm Cameron Songer, and on this week's show, we check in with women's basketball head coach John Haskins as the Braves approach the end of the season. We'll also talk to Tona Jacobs, principal at Pembroke Elementary School, and see a special video feature from our student interns. But first, Coach John Haskins in studio, thanks for stopping by.
Cameron, good to be here.
Let's give fans an update on the season so far. The women's basketball team is 10-15 overall, 5-13 in the Peach Belt Conference. You have one game remaining in your season, a Wednesday road trip to Francis Marion to take on the Patriots. Give us a report card on the season, what positives you've seen out of the 2015-16 campaign.
Well, I think on the negative side, I think we obviously would like our record to be better. I think we've played in some very close games where we've had an opportunity, one or two possession games where it could have easily gone either way, and we've come up on the losing side of that. As an overall overview of the season, I think our girls have played very hard throughout the season. We've got a really close team, a team that gets along well together. I think we've seen the development of some players that were playing supporting roles last year that have really come into their own this year and played very well for us. You know, we're going to lose four seniors that we hate to miss. I know we'll talk about them a little bit later. But overall, I think we've done some good things. Consistency has been an issue, particularly on the offensive end.
Coming off a big win Saturday evening with a dominating 79-60 win at Armstrong State, shot 53% from the field in that game, the highest shooting percentage for your team in 6 seasons. What did you see from your team on Saturday that perhaps you haven't seen in the previous games this year?
The ball go in the hole more often, number one. You know, it's weird. We play them a week apart. We scored 79 points on Saturday. We scored 48 points at home against them in a 60-48 win loss a week ago. So it's just crazy with basketball where the ball goes in the hole. You know, that game, Mary Robinson was outstanding. I think she was 4 for 4 from the three-point line and just played a great game, had 15 rebounds. Janisa Monley gave us another very good game. I thought Jasmine Hunley played great at point guard for us. And then the other one that doesn't get a lot of statistical sometimes, but just plays well for us is Erica Williams with her effort and her defense. And I thought she had a very good game for us also. So it was nice to see the ball go in the hole. We executed our offense well and made shots.
You talked about some of those key players, but let's break it down a little further, starting with Janisa Monley, who leads her team in both scoring and rebound in the 2015-16 campaign. She scored in double figures in 13 straight games and produced 10 of her career double-double performances over this span as well. What's been the reason for her success this year?
You know, number one, she got in really good shape, I think. That was the first thing. She put in a lot of hard work during the summer to get herself in shape and get ready. She's got a better feel for what we're doing. You know, one of the things earlier is that we struggled to keep her out there because she couldn't remember some plays and stuff like that. And the third area is she's improved defensively. But I think the one thing is she's just getting touches and she's got confidence now. I think over the last 13 games, she's averaging about 16.5 points and 11.5 rebounds, which is probably as good as anybody in the league. So she has really come on into her own. We hope she'll continue that and then move into her senior and have a great senior season.
The spark plug for your team this year has been the point guard Jasmine Huntley. You talked about her a little bit. Ranks second on the team in scoring, but leads the team with 2.3 assists per outing. Tiny has developed into a great leader for your team, but what is her potential heading into next year?
Well, I think that. I mean, number one, I think that she has shown through the second half of the season more leadership skills. She's playing more like a point guard than just another player out on the floor. She's very vocal, both in games and practice. She's as quick as a leg getting the ball up the floor, 94 feet. She can really push the ball in transition, which helps our offense. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense. I think just developing more variety in her game. I mean, you look at it Saturday, she hit a couple pull-up jumpers. I mean, she can do that. Her three-point shot has gotten much better. I think she's gone from about an 18% three-point shooter to about 33% three-point shooter. So now you have to guard her on the arc. So I think she can continue to develop there and get better and better.
Another player with extreme growth potential for the rest of her career is freshman Avery Locklear. Registered about 9 points per game this year and leads your team with 41 made three-pointers. Has Avery been a pleasant surprise for you, or did you expect her to have such a profound impact on your team?
No, when we recruited her, we knew that she was ready to play on the college level. And number one, because she's strong and physical, and she plays so hard. Just a outstanding kid that really is very coachable, and it's just hard-nosed. And the thing I like about Avery is she's not afraid to shoot a shot. And I got on her. We ran a play, and she was open, and she threw it into Janisa, and there was a timeout on the floor, and I said, "You got to shoot that shot." And the next time we ran the same play, and she made a three, which was a big three for us, and gave us a nice cushion on Saturday. But she's not afraid to shoot the ball, not afraid to take the shots, and very aggressive, and she'll just continue to get better and better.
Coach, stay where you are. We need to take our first break here on the Black and Gold Report. When we come back, we'll still be talking to UNCP women's basketball head coach John Haskins, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. I'm Cameron Songer, joined once again by UNCP women's basketball head coach John Haskins. Let's get right back to it. The Braves played their last home game of the season on February 17th against Flagler. That was the last home game for four seniors: Mary Robinson, Chandrika Fuller, Crystal Hicks, and Rachel Temple. Talk about the impact those four players have had on your team and what kind of legacy they'll leave behind.
Well, first of all, let me start with Rachel, who came to us. We recruited her out of high school, out of Southview, and came to us, transferred from Eckerd College, and came in with a knee injury, her third ACL surgery, and was kind of a student assistant last year. Got her back on the floor, thought we were going to be okay, and she kind of tweaked it again and couldn't play. But she's been a great addition to our program in terms of a kid. She's like a student assistant, just a great kid to have around, and just has done a lot to try to get through 3 knee surgeries. Chandrika was a starter for us as a freshman, played 34 minutes a game, which is crazy for a freshman. No freshman does that. Had a very good freshman season, tore ACL her sophomore year, first game of the season, so missed that entire season. Last year, she had some meniscus issues at the beginning of the season, so we didn't get her back till, I think it was mid-January, and she wasn't 100%. Thought we'd get her back 100% this season. Obviously, she started for us at point guard starting the season, was our third leading scorer, averaging over about 7.5 points a game. And then tweaked her knee again, and so, but just what both those kids have done in terms of leadership and fighting through injuries has been incredible. Crystal Hicks was a kid that we got out of junior college, out of Brunswick Community College. That didn't play a lot last year, and has really come on this year, and just does a lot of things for us. Really understands the system. She could probably play about any position on the floor. If we're running a set, she could run it from wherever she needs to run it from. She plays the 3 and the 4 for us. Statistically, hasn't done a great deal, but she's one of those glue kids that you'd like to have on the floor, and really plays hard. And then Mary Robinson, I think, last year had a very good year as junior college transfer out of Faulkner State. She played for Linda Pitts, who was the women's head coach when I was coaching our men here. So Linda's been down at Faulkner State for quite a while, and we got Mary, and she had a good year last year, and I think she's done some great things and had some really, really solid games this year. We'd love to have her. Wish we could have her back for another year, because she's really coming to her own and playing very well for us. So, obviously we'll miss not only what those kids have done on the floor, but the intangibles they brought to our team.
You mentioned next year. Let's look ahead a little bit to the 2016-2017 season. You returned 4 starters. and nearly 80% of your scoring from this season. That's got to be kind of soothing to you as a head coach.
Yeah, I think so. You know, we still need to get better. We've got kids in our program that need to continue to work and get better. But it's nice to have that nucleus back. I don't know of a year where we've had that many kids back. You know, and that much percentage of our scoring back. Like I say, we need to continue to work to get better. But there's going to be a lot of experience coming on the floor next year.
Looking at recruiting now a little bit, what are some of the holes you're thinking about filling in recruiting?
Well, we want another guard that could handle it and score it, and we got Brianna Bauman from Brunswick Community College, who's averaging about 22 points a game down there, but she's averaging 26.5 points in conference play. Really an attacking guard, can shoot it. She shoots about 35% from the three, but she shot 181 free throws this year, which is, you know, Tiny leads our team, and Tiny's probably shot 112 now. For us, so really attacks the basket, gets to the free throw line. We also signed Stephanie Johnson from Union Pines High School, a 6'1" post player who's got a great body, strength-wise, and she's got some skills. She can handle it. She can pass it a little bit. So we're excited about those two. There's a few more spots we want to fill in recruiting as we move in. We're trying to sign probably 3 more as we move in through the spring season.
All right, now you have 1 game left in the 2015-2016 season. What types of things would you like to see from your team in Florence on Wednesday against Francis Marion?
Just play hard. I mean, you know, you look at Francis Marion, very good team. Now, we played really well here, and I don't think they played great, and we won by 12 here. They've won 20 games. They're a very good team, and you look at their scores, they're very good at home. You know, they've pounded some people at home. So we're going to have to come down there with our A game, kind of like we did Saturday against Armstrong, and we're going to have to play very well. But handling their pressure, number one. They're a tough team because they've got a lot of kids that can spread you out, shoot it, and drive it. So we're going to have to do a good job defensively and rebounding. But I think, you know, handling their pressure and then scoring.
All right, let's look a little bit at the short-term future now. Beyond this last game of the season, what happens for your team with the rest of the spring semester on campus?
Well, first of all, the NCAA, we have to take 14 days off at the end of our season. So the kids get a little break, they get to rejuvenate a little bit. And then with our team, we'll be back at it with individual workouts and back in with weightlifting. And we can work with 4 at a time during that 2-hour stretch. We've got 2 hours a week we can work with it. So we'll work a lot on individual skill development. As a coaches, it's a race to the signing date. You know, trying to, like I say, we want to bring 3 more into our program. We feel like we've got certain needs, so we're trying to finish it up.
Coach John Haskins, thanks for sitting down with us. We need to take our next break here on the Black and Gold Report, but stay tuned.